Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on an absolutely mind-blowing journey, not just across continents, but across time itself. We're talking about venturing back to 0.9 million years ago. Imagine that. A world so ancient, so untamed. It's almost beyond our comprehension. Forget what you think you know about history. We're diving into a chapter that predates written records, even spoken language as we know it. We're going to explore a place scientists have dubbed the Desert of Bones, a landscape teeming with secrets, where the very foundations of humanity were being laid. And along the way, we'll uncover the forgotten paths of our earliest ancestors. So buckle up, because this is going to be an epic ride through the deep past. Now, 2.9 million years ago, the Earth looked very, very different from today. Continents were roughly in their current positions, but climates and landscapes were vastly altered. Our story begins in what is now East Africa, a region that has yielded some of the most extraordinary fossil discoveries ever made. This wasn't the lush, green savanna we often picture today in documentaries. No, much of it was a challenging, often arid environment, a mosaic of woodlands, grasslands, and crucially, ancient river systems. The term Desert of Bones isn't just poetic. It refers to specific sites rich in fossilized remains, where countless creatures met their end and were preserved over millennia. These aren't just dry, barren wastes, but places where the Earth itself holds a library of life from eons past. So, who were the main characters in this ancient drama? This was the age of early hominins. We're talking about species like Australopithecus, our direct or very close ancestors who walked upright. A revolutionary adaptation that freed their hands for other tasks. Picture a creature, perhaps a bit smaller than us, covered in hair, with a brain about a third of our size, but with an intelligence that was rapidly evolving. They were bipedal, meaning they walked on two legs, a defining characteristic that set them apart from other primates. This wasn't a sudden change. It was a gradual evolution, likely driven by environmental shifts. As forests gave way to more open grasslands, the ability to see over tall grasses, carry food, or even carry offspring became incredibly advantageous. Life for these early hominins was a constant struggle for survival. They were not at the top of the food chain. Far from it. Imagine a world dominated by massive predators, saber-toothed cats with their terrifying fangs, giant hyenas, and enormous crocodiles lurking in ancient waterways. Our ancestors were both prey and, eventually, increasingly skillful foragers and scavengers. Their days would have been spent searching for food, fruits, nuts, tubers, insects, and perhaps the occasional carrion left behind by a larger predator. This constant quest for sustenance would have dictated their movements, forcing them to learn the landscape intimately, to know where the seasonal foods could be found, and where water sources were reliable. One of the most exciting aspects of this period is the very beginning of technology. Around 2.6 million years ago, we see the earliest undeniable evidence of stone tool use. These once sophisticated tools by our standards, but they were game-changing. Simple flakes struck from pebbles, known as old Dowan tools, allowed our ancestors to do things they couldn't before. They could cut meat from carcasses, access marrow from bones, a rich source of fat and protein, and process plant foods. This wasn't just about survival. It was about innovation, about thinking ahead, about understanding cause and effect. It was the dawn of human ingenuity, a tiny spark that would eventually ignite the technological revolution we see today. The Desert of Bones is where many of these incredible discoveries have been made. Sites like Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania and Hadur in Ethiopia are literal treasure troves. Paleontologists and archaeologists meticulously sift through layers of sediment, unearthing fragments of bone, stone tools, and even traces of ancient environments. Each tiny piece tells a story, contributing to a vast, complex puzzle. Imagine the dedication of these scientists, spending years under the scorching sun, painstakingly excavating, mapping, and interpreting every single find. It's through that tireless work that we're able to reconstruct this ancient world. These ancient landscapes weren't just a backdrop. They actively shaped our ancestors. The challenges of the environment, the competition for resources, the constant threat of predators. All these pressures selected for certain traits, those who were more adaptable, more cooperative, more innovative, and perhaps even more curious, were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. This wasn't a linear march of progress. Evolution is messy, with many different species evolving, diverging, and sometimes dying out. But within this complex web, our direct lineage was slowly, steadily taking shape. Think about the sheer resilience required to live in such a world. No fire, no sophisticated shelter, limited communication beyond basic grunts and gestures. Yet, they persevered. They learned the rhythms of nature, understood the behaviors of other animals, and slowly but surely began to exert a subtle influence on their environment. Their forgotten human path wasn't a paved road. It was a meandering trail, often indistinct, sometimes disappearing altogether, only to reappear later. It was a path of discovery, of learning, of slow, incremental advancement that laid the groundwork for everything that came after. What can we learn from a world nearly 3 million years in the past? Perhaps a great deal about our own origins, our inherent drive to explore, to innovate, and to overcome challenges. It reminds us of the deep biological roots of our humanity. It also instills a profound sense of humility, seeing how small and vulnerable our earliest ancestors were, and how far we've come. Their story is our story, a testament to the enduring spirit of life on Earth. So, as we emerge from our journey through the desert of bones, remember these ancient footsteps. They're the echoes of a distant past, guiding us to understand who we are and where we came from. The next time you walk outside, imagine the ground beneath your feet stretching back millions of years, holding countless untold stories. It's a truly humbling and inspiring thought. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible adventure back in time. I hope you found it as fascinating as I did. If you enjoyed this journey into deep history, please hit that like button. Share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the wonders of our world and beyond. Your support truly helps this channel grow. See you next time.